In this tutorial, I will show you an overview of the BEST BSR process. The BEST BSR solution has been designed to automate the loading of statements into the BEST BSR reconciliation solution. This would mean a translation of the vendor detail using the vendor name or even the supplier VAT account. Our main objective is to automatically identify the supplier statement detail in order to load the statement into the BEST reconciliation solution. Let's start by looking at our PDF statement. In our example, I want to translate the text O Trading into the applicable SAP vendor ID. What we would also need to identify is the correct receiving company ID, as the supplier does not provide us with a SAP company ID. We use the receiving company name, in our example, Best Test Company, to identify the correct company ID that this vendor belongs to in SAP. The next important value is the relevant statement date, and we can see that the supplier does provide this on the top right hand side of the statement. We do require the closing balance of the statement, and this is available at the bottom of our sample statement page. Do note that a specific position is not required for the closing balance, providing there are some identifiable text relating to the amount that will allow us to link the two values together. Our example is great, as I can see the text amount due to the left of the amount, and that can be used as reference point or anchor, as you hear me refer to in other courses. Once we have all the required header fields to provide us with a detail of to whom the statement belongs, we can proceed to identify the required statement lines belonging to the statement. We will require the following fields to facilitate a successful load into the BEST reconciliation solution. The first would be the invoice date, and that can be noted in multiple ways on the statement, providing the format is consistent. We would also require an invoice number that will form the core of our algorithm match in the BEST reconciliation solution. A document type will be beneficial, as this will help the BEST reconciliation to distinguish between credit notes and payments, as an example. An amount will be required, and this can be represented as two columns, being a debit and a credit reference, or can be presented as a single signed amount column. Now that we have confirmed that our supplier statement has the correct and complete information to load the statement through our automated process, we can proceed to the following step. I will open my email and create a new email and attach the PDF statement to the email. I will also clean up signatures and any other text as they add no value, and send this through to our dedicated statement mailbox. To confirm that the email has been sent, I will go to my sent items and will verify that the email was successfully sent. I will now switch over to our statement mailbox, and in our case, it is statements@bestsapcbi.com. When I select the inbox, I can see that the email was received in our statements mailbox. Opening the email, you will note the statement as a PDF attachment for our O Trading supplier. The Chronoscan solution monitors this mailbox and will pick up any new emails with attachments that arrives in the mailbox. Emails are marked as processed to avoid retrieving the same attachment multiple times. Only valid attachments will be extracted, and these would include PDF statements and Excel statements. Next, I will show you the statement in the Chronoscan solution. Remember, this process is automated and will not be dependent on any action by myself. Do not concern yourself on the detail of the mapping at this stage, as that will be covered in greater detail in our tutorials. Our document screen will provide you with an overview of documents or statements that have been received via email, and each document will be created as a batch. Here we can see the statement has been created as a batch, and if we go to the detail of the document, you will notice the following. The document has been identified correctly via the document generator and document type, to identify the template we will be using. With the knowledge of which template we are using, we have now identified the statement date, the vendor name, and receiving company name. Using the names as identified, we are now able to determine the correct company code and vendor ID as it has been defined in SAP. You will also see that the closing balance has been populated from the statement. Our important information from the detail lines on the statement has also been identified, and we can confirm that we have populated the invoice date, document type, invoice number, and the relevant debit and credit amounts. This was done automatically as we have done the definition rule or mapping of the statement previously. And this statement has now been sent to SAP. The next step would be to go to our SAP application, and here we will go to the BSR cockpit screen that will provide us with the status of the statement in SAP. You will see that the statement has been successfully processed, and we can note the detail on the listing screen. To see further detail on the individual statement, we can click on the fix icon, which will then take us to the detail screen, where we can confirm the header detail that agrees with our vendor detail, and we can see the line items on the left, which have been read from the statement. We also have a preview of the original statement on the right-hand side as confirmation of the statement detail. Also available is the translated document as an XML. This is required as SAP is unable to read and interpret the original PDF statement and the main purpose of the BSR solution. You will find in the header information representing the company code, statement date, etc. And if we scroll down, we will be able to see the line items as well. Thank you for watching this tutorial.